Good morning, gentlemen. We're holding on our 29th segment of the Laws of Shemirat Halashon with Clarity, the Think Before You Speak series. Leilun Nishmat, the Hafetz Chaim Zechet Tzadik L'Bracha, Leilun Nishmat, Luza Liza Bat Henriette, and her children that passed away in the fire. These halachot should be a tremendous shmira, and it should be a zechut for the yeshuot and the hatzlacha of all our bnei Chabura and for Klal Yisrael. And as well, it should be a tremendous shmira elyona and a great zechut and a hatzlacha gedola for Chaim Davidov and Chayesar. Today's class and the halachot are titled right in front of him. So let's take this from the top. You would think that if a person gets up in front of a large audience and speaks Lashon Hara berabim, in front of a lot of people, it's probably true. Because who would chance that? Who would actually go and get up in front of a very large audience of people and say something that he knows that his reputation is on the line, because if it's not true, easily he'll be disproven and he'll have looked bad. So if he got up in front of a large audience and said that, it must be true. But yet the halacha is not like that. Halachically, even if someone says Lashon Hara in front of a large audience, still you're not allowed to believe the information to be true. But what do you mean? Who would do that? The guy would never chance it. He wouldn't put his reputation on the line. Makes no difference. Lashon Hara is Lashon Hara, and you're not allowed to believe the information, period. What about if someone tells you Lashon Hara about a certain person right in front of the guy? He's saying Lashon Hara right in front of the guy himself. It must be true. Because, otherwise, who would chance it? Who would actually say it in front of the person himself if he didn't know 100% it was true? And yet the halacha still tells us, even if he spoke Lashon Hara in front of the guy himself, still, you're not allowed to believe the information. Let alone if the guy says Lashon Hara about someone, and then he steps up and says, I'm telling you it's true. Even if the guy himself was standing here right now, I would say it in front of his face. Definitely. You cannot believe the information without any question. Now, Rabotai, I want to tell you something of a chidush. You ready for the chidush for today? Even if he says Lashon Hara in front of the guy himself, and the guy's standing there, and right in front of his face he says Lashon Hara, and the guy he spoke about stays quiet, and he doesn't even object. He just stays quiet. Even then, the halacha states, shtika is not kehoda'ah, and you're not allowed to believe the information to be true at all. Wow. What's the pshat? How do you even explain that? You want to hear something wild? This story happened with me. I was there once where a guy got up in front of a Chabura circle of guys. He said some Lashon Hara about a certain guy who was standing right there with us. And the guy stayed quiet and didn't say a word. And everyone looked at the guy. And the guy turned a little embarrassed, but he didn't say a word. And everybody assumed the information must have been true. Because I know this guy. This guy, when he's put into that type of a position, he's the type of guy on the slightest uncomfortable word, he's the type that would actually never stay quiet. He would jump up and scream, what are you talking about? He didn't say a word. And still the halacha is, even though he's the type of person that would fight it, and now he stays quiet, you're not allowed to believe the information to be true in any which way. What's the pshat? Why? So I walked up to the guy afterwards and I found out. I asked him, I said to him, why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you fight back? And listen to what he says to me. He says to me, I'll be honest with you. I was going to yell at the guy and rip him to pieces. But right now I'm going through a tzara. And I said, maybe this is the moment that if I stay quiet and I'm mevater, and I don't answer back, maybe this will be the zechut for me, that Hashem will be mevater, and he'll see that I'm the person that was the one that was embarrassed and didn't answer. Maybe that will give me a zechut to be saved. You don't know what's going on by the other person. Even in his silence, it might be the biggest statement. At the end of the day, you're never allowed to believe Lashon Hara information to be true. Thank you for listening.